Hello and welcome to another episode of Region Diary, the show that brings to you special stories from the region. I am your host Priyadarshini Medhi. Well, in this segment of the Region Diary, we promise to show you some interesting stories. A story about a bamboo artisan from Manipur who crafted a tripod out of bamboo to meet his need. A budding miniature artist from Tripura who does painting on peanuts. A young boy from Assam's Tezpur who made it to the India Book of Records with his unique piece of art. And of course, a lot more interesting stories from the region. Well, the Tizu Valley Biodiversity Conservation and Livelihood Network, a biodiversity conservation organization in Zunheboto district of Nagaland, since its inception has been working relentlessly on the conservation of rich biodiversity, not just in the community conserved area, but also in other village land. The Tizu Valley Biodiversity Conservation and Livelihood Network is supported by many foreign environmental research organizations. Many researchers have been doing research on the rich biodiversity of the conserved areas. Well, the Tizu Valley Biodiversity Conservation and Livelihood Network has been organizing various kind of festivals like the Chengu Bird Festival to attract tourists. Besides, it also organizes national and international conferences are held on biodiversity. So here is the story. The Tizu Valley Biodiversity Conservation and Livelihood Network is the largest biodiversity conservation organization in Zunheboto district and surrounding areas of Nagaland. The organization was formed for the protection as well as conservation of plant and wildlife species through the revival of traditional biodiversity conservation practices and creation of community conserved areas.
We have destructed our habitat for the wild animals. We have forgotten our culture and tradition. Our biodiversity is unrecognized and devalued. The Tizu Valley Biodiversity and Livelihood Network consists of the three villages, that is Kai, Raki and Kivuka, has a concept to revive our traditional practices of conservation. The network is working for the promotion of redefine our culture and tradition, redefine of our crop pattern and farming, redefine for our livelihood activities. This is all about our main concept for our initiative of the biodiversity conservation within our areas.
The Tizu Valley Biodiversity Conservation and Livelihood Network has been demanding the state government to declare the Community Conserved Area or CCA comprising around 21 square kilometer as a tourist hotspot and the nearby villages as model village in a bid to promote tourism in these areas. The organization wants the government to render all the necessary help and support in order to develop and conserve the areas.
The Tizu Valley Biodiversity Conservation and Livelihood was started by the 3 different villages during the year 2014, but separately. But after a gap of some years, we the people of the 3 villages, the leaders of the 3 villagers had a joint decided to have a joint venture in order to strengthen the biodiversity conservation. So in the year 2017, we have unanimously elected some of the leaders in 3 villages, and then to let them lead us. And our aims and objective is to promote and protect the biodiversity in our area.
The Tizu Valley Biodiversity Conservation and Livelihood Network was a joint initiative undertaken by 3 villages, namely Sukhai Village, Kiviku Village and Gukhui Village of Zunheboto district. The 3 villages united under the Tizu Biodiversity Conservation and Livelihood Network, named after the fast-flowing river that flows below them, and decided to completely ban all forms of hunting both in the CCAs and in all other village land. And seeing the great efforts of these villages in protecting the wildlife, the nearby villages have also showed interest in joining them in conserving the nature. Last year, Chepokita village of Chakesang tribe in Pheg district has joined the network for the conservation of flora and fauna. Several strict rules and regulations have been put in place in the community conserved area in order to prevent hunting and poaching that have detrimental effects on the biodiversity. Thousands of birds, butterflies and fish species are available in these conservation areas. Many medicinal plants and other useful and unique plants are found in the dense forest of the Tizu Valley. Well, the local youth are also playing crucial role in conservation by patrolling and making sure that no illegal activities like hunting, poaching take place in the area. They also act as tourist guides for those visiting the conservation areas and the villages.
The Tizu Valley Biodiversity Conservation and Livelihood Network is an initiative taken up by the 3 villages, that is Sky Village, Kivika Village and Rikhi Village, in protecting and preserving the wildlife species as well as the nature and its natural resources in that very area. The villagers have been working very hard and were also working hand in hand to protect all the wildlife species that are found in that very area. Some of the wildlife species like the bird species, butterfly species or some rare animal species are found only in that area and not found anywhere else in the district as well as this surrounding area. And seeing this very hard work of the villagers, the villagers in the surrounding areas are also planning to join these 3 villages in protecting the wildlife species. This is Bombo Yepto reporting for Northeast Live from Zunheboto.
And on to Assam now.